As much hate as Gen Z and Gen Alpha get, I think they might be living through one of the most challenging times in recent history. Like when it comes to getting a good job and building wealth and creating the American dream and buying a home, like it feels like they're living through a very tumultuous time. It's very challenging for them. And guys, I'm not talking about the 22-year-old that wears a swimsuit to work at Meta and it just sits in the pool as a project manager on a laptop. Like you're toast, bro. That chick doesn't deserve a job. But the reality is there's a lot of kids that were promised this like golden ticket, the same golden ticket that, millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers, guys like us kind of had. I mean, it was pretty simple. Like the path was simple. Take out student debt, go to college, get good grades, build a LinkedIn profile, get hired, buy a house, get married, retire at 60. Like it's pretty straightforward, right? But technology has really changed and transformed the way that we operate in the world. And, Gen Z is kind of like, in my opinion, the first generation that's having to figure out a whole new path to success. Because that path of going to college, getting the white picket fence, buying a home, building wealth, I just don't know that it really works anymore. And you can feel free to engage me in the comments, yeah, it's fine. But the reality is that it's very common for young people getting out of college or even not getting out of college, filling out hundreds of job applications with no results. And we've covered that in videos before. You've got fake job listings out there. You're competing against AI agents, using AI agents to fill out applications. You're submitting resumes. You're not getting anywhere. And by the way, that is one of the reasons I want to cover this topic today, because, I care about the next generation. I care about guys like you and me being able to find work. And I definitely want to thank today's sponsor, CourseCareers, for the materials and starting to create a different avenue, a new avenue that I think is probably underrated. And we'll talk a little bit more about CourseCareers here in just a moment, but thanks for sponsoring this video. They've been in business for over 6 years, lots of results. And again, we'll talk about them in a moment. Let's kind of keep on this topic of Gen Z and this job apocalypse maybe that we've got here, because the reality is if you're a young person, it's very, very, very difficult to get your foot in the door. Companies not only have been laying off humans for AI agents, but they've also closed off new hiring. They're telling all their existing employees, use the AI agents, get better, which doesn't always have great results. We actually covered this in a video yesterday where a company accidentally spent $500 million on AI tokens in 1 month. Ouch, we covered that yesterday. You can go check out that video here. At any event, it's a really tumultuous time. In fact, we're even seeing companies adding AI agents to their organizational charts now. Like not Mary from HR, it's Marvin, the AI agent, right? We are actually seeing that. In addition to the AI agents, there's another problem, which is the remote job issue. And guys, I've been talking about this for a while. In a lot of positions, you're not just competing against your neighbors, your people in your city, or even your state, or even your country. You're competing against people all over the world. We live in a remote work world. And obviously that was really, really expanded on during COVID. But the Federal Reserve Bank of New York has an interesting study. In their study, they find that the unemployment rate among young college graduates in remotable fields rose about 1 percentage point over the past 6 years. Yet, for older workers in those fields, those aged 29 and over, the jobless rate declined slightly. And why is that? There's a new kind of emphasis. There's a new value proposition, and that is experience and relationships. And those are two things that young people don't really have. They have book smarts, but they don't have street smarts, basically is what I'm trying to say. So, these young college workers, or these young workers, 22, 27, are definitely in a bind. I have some more stats here for you, because it's not just college educated, but it's non-college educated too. So overall unemployment right now is at 4.3%. College graduates from 22 to 27 is 5.3%, and non-college graduates is at 7.1%, which isn't too hot. And by the way, for those college graduates, 50% of those college graduates are actually underhired, meaning they are in positions or jobs that they didn't even need a college degree for in the first place. So, again, it gets you an extra step in the door, but you know, gosh, man, I really feel badly for young people. This is a really tough time. It brings me back to my younger days. I mean, when I graduated from college, I couldn't find a great job. I ended up taking a job at an insurance agency, which didn't require a bachelor's degree, underemployed. And I think that job was fine, but you know, again, you spend all this time in college learning all these skills, and then to get out and be like, oh, you're not actually going to work in your field. That's kind of a slap in the face. And an Indeed analysis of occupation groups over the past 6 years showed that 87% of occupation groups are not interested in college degrees. They don't require them anymore. This used to be a requirement, but honestly, college degrees have been kind of diluted over the years. There's just so many degrees that just don't matter. And there certainly are some fields where college degrees do matter. You know, if you want to become an attorney or a doctor, like you're going to need a college degree. But I'll be honest, like, does a kindergarten teacher really need a college degree to work in as a teacher? I mean, that seems preposterous to me. My wife has a 4-year degree to teach kindergarten. Like, really? I don't know. Maybe my teacher friends out there can correct me on that. I love teachers. I think teachers are probably one of the most underrated piece of our society right now as far as payment goes. But anyway, I digress. I could riff on that for a while. Here's another stat here. 1 in 3 companies, according to CNBC, 33% of companies have completely ditched college degree requirements. It just doesn't mean the same thing. It's relationships, it's what can you do for me today, and it's experience. And you know, it's just really hard to get your foot in the door in these fields. Which, you know, the reality is that the beginning rung of the career ladder has been removed. And quite frankly, that's probably going to cause a lot of problems in the future as we don't have enough young people in these careers, and as older people age out. I guess the hope here is that AI agents are just going to do everything for us, but you know, I'm not 100% convinced on that. In any event, you know, when I think about a young person, it's kind of like, and again, we talk about this a lot on the channel, guys. It's what are the problems that I can solve? What are the problems that are getting paid for? Because the problems of today are not necessarily the problems of tomorrow. And when I look at like actually what's happening in the workplace right now, the trades are not remote work. You cannot replace your hands with AI. I think they're going to be enhanced, but you look at trades like HVAC, electrician, construction, like these jobs are in very, very high demand. I'm HVAC certified. I found a job pretty quickly. I had to go to technical school, which cost several $1,000s. And I went through technical school. After about 7 to 8 months, I was able to get a job in HVAC. And hard work, but I got a job. I got paid right, you know, pretty quickly. This is one of the things that CourseCareers does. CourseCareers aims to get you hired in less than 12 weeks. And if you said that to me, I'd be like, wow, I can actually get into the field, start playing with it, start making money in less than 12 weeks. It cost me a lot more money, about 5-6 times as much to get my trade degree or my trade certification and job. And that took 2 to 3 times as long. So again, it's just a different way of kind of thinking. You know, we're just in a digital world now. Medical device and technical sales, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, median pay exceeds $100,000 if you get a job in technical and scientific sales. And by the way, health, human services blowing up. Sales is definitely changing, but I think the ability to go up and shake someone's hand is very, very powerful. And again, it's all about getting your foot in the door. And again, this is one of the reasons I like CourseCareers is they have a major emphasis on getting your foot in the door. It's not just getting you education, getting you trained. It's, hey, how do we actually get you hired? And so I have a lot of respect for that mission. And by the way, guys, I'm a father. I got 2 kids. And I wonder to myself, what's going to give my kids the best opportunity to succeed? That's what you want as a dad. Like, I put money away into their college education, but I wonder, is that even going to be relevant? Like, is that going to align with what they want to do? Maybe I should just buy Bitcoin instead, you know? But the reality is, like, it's their life. It's their decision what they want to do. And I can try to, you know, put the pieces in place to help them, provide for them. But at the end of the day, it's their decision. Again, I do want to give a shout out to CourseCareers because I think they have a really good solution to this problem of how do I actually find a job? And I get a lot of sponsorships. I decline 99% of them, but I did decide to work with CourseCareers. CourseCareers, they have the one job. They have one mission. That's to get you the minimal amount of training possible to get hired. And they want to get you hired. And I think a big part of it is not necessarily like the training aspect, like, you know, you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos and you can learn, but they give you certifications and they have a built-in ecosystem of hiring. So if you're an employer that's looking for people to hire, you go to CourseCareers, they go to their marketplace on the back end, and you say, hey, who's doing stuff? Who's completing these courses? Who's actually learning these skills? We want to hire directly. So they have this kind of ecosystem built in. This is not some like digital course where you take half a module and then you quit. This is a type of course where you actually go through the whole thing and you get hired on the back end. And I think that is a big deal. It's giving you necessary skills. The other thing I like about CourseCareers, in addition to that, is it's totally free for the first 14 days. And I know there's a number of people on the channel who have signed up and are starting to taking courses, and some of them keep going, some of them drop out. That's fine. But you get 14 days free to test it out. You know, like there's really nothing to lose. And I just think it's a good program. Again, they've been in place for 6 years. You can get started for free. There's a ton of different learnings. And one of the things that I focus on in the marketing world, I'm in marketing, is testing quickly. Like we don't go in and just start building out tons and tons of systems and committing tens of thousands of dollars to a marketing campaign. We want to test quickly. It's like, is there anything here? I was just talking to some guys the other day. We're doing a LinkedIn DM campaign. We're like, are we getting, one of the guys was talking like, well, let's build out the automations and the sequences and the 3-day follow-ups, the 4-day follow-ups. And I'm like, well, at this point, we haven't even gotten a response yet on the campaign. So does it even make sense to continue? Why don't we see if we can get a response back before we start going nuts? And again, I think that's a cool thing with CourseCareers. You can get started in a course for free. It's only a few $100 to go through a course. And if you don't like it, you have 14 days to break out of it or to switch to another one, or get hired in 12 weeks. That's a pretty sick deal, I think. And 14 days, I think, is quick enough that you can say, okay, I like this or I don't like this. And at the end of the day, guys, that's what you want. You want to be in a job, you want to be in a career that you enjoy, that's fulfilling, and has upward trajectory, that actually has a chance for you to be successful in this new AI remote work world. So anyway, shout out to CourseCareers. Click the link below, check them out. If you have thoughts on the future of work, I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments below, and I'll see you next video, boys. See ya, peace.